This is my recap of Marriage Bootcamp Season 2, Episode 1, Booze and Breakdowns. So this show, everyone on it is a bridezilla, and I can tell you how the show was made. Someone said, hey, we should figure out a way to get these bridezillas back on TV, but they've already had their wedding. And someone else said, well, we know their marriages are probably pretty awful. And they go, okay, that's it. We're going to have a show about bad marriages. Ta-da! Everyone who is on the show has been married between about 1.5 years and 5 months. It's not going to be getting better. It's no surprise. They were a mess going into their marriage. Marriage doesn't fix anything. It probably in most cases makes the problems worse. Ta-da! They're still having problems. My husband watched the show and thought it was a comedy. He didn't get who these people are, and I'm a little confused as to who would go on a show like this. I don't know who'd go on a show like Bridezilla. I don't know if they know that they're kind of like not great people, or whether they don't see the show that way. My only guess is that they watch Bridezillas the way that I watch Housewives, and I look past the Housewives' bad behavior and I just see the fun behavior. I don't know. I don't know why they're on this show. My only experience with Bridezilla is I had foot surgery and was in a cast, and it was right when I was dating my husband and was deciding that this was the man I was going to marry. And I decided that for the first time in my life I was interested in seeing shows about weddings. So I flipped through and there was a Bridezilla marathon and I watched it, and my husband came back from his business trip and came over to my parents' house and wanted to see me, see how I was doing, and I was crying and I was like, I don't want to get married, and he's like, what? Okay, we're going to turn this TV off. And I was saying how I didn't want to be a bridezilla. So that is my experience with the show. What's kind of weird about this show is that this is the second season. The third season, they're doing all reality couples, and they've already started promoting the third season well before the second season actually premiered. So I turned on the second season thinking it was with reality stars, and quite a few other people did as well, just to turn it on and realize that this was they just stopped promoting the second season and gone right to the third season. So that was kind of confusing. So the couples, there are 5 couples. We have Jeff and Tasha. They've been legally separated for 7 months. They've been together for 1.5 years. They've been married for 1.5 years, and they've been legally separated, living apart for 7 months. The divorce papers are into the judge. We're just waiting for the judge to sign off on it. So I'm a little confused as to why they were cast in the show. I know why they're on the show, because they want more attention and to be on TV. I'm just not sure why they were cast. Sean and Sophia are next. He's big, he drinks a lot, and he's got some anger issues. So I'm genuinely scared of him. I don't know if he's going to make it through the season without hitting someone. Next are Gloria and Mark. She's really giving him a hard time to be the man, and he says that she won't let him. She has to do everything. Maylee and Thomas, they've been pretty quiet. Some general snipping at each other, but they've been sort of low-key. And the last ones are Blanca and Julian. 2 things I know about them. First off, they're the only couple that I've seen that have really demonstrated that they still have their sense of humor. They've made fun of a few other couples, they've cracked jokes, and humor in my personal relationship with my husband is a huge thing. It's how we diffuse fights, it's how we deal with frustrations, it's how we deal with everything. It's in fact how both of our families deal with stuff. So when I see someone who has a sense of humor with their partner, it kind of gives me hope. Not to say that they're in a great spot, but that was something that I noticed about them. The second thing is they're all over Twitter. Blanca is starring stuff, retweeting stuff. She is like on top of this show. So I'm still trying to get my mind around, or get a handle on what is going on and how they relate to the show. They've all seen all the Bridezillas. When the couples came in, they knew who everyone was, which is just weird to me because I didn't know that there were people that had that kind of feeling about Bridezilla. But like I said, I'm into the Housewives, and they can be pretty horrible. So to each their own. The general structure of the show is they have the intro where the couples come in, big limo, 2 at a time. So they come in, they look around the gorgeous house. There's drinks out, immediately are grabbing drinks. They're starting to meet everyone and all that. Then in the evening they go out and they, cuddle up and they watch the big screen, the pictures, when, happier times. And then it cuts to their auditions tape, which is hugely embarrassing. Like they're making references to their sex life, and it was incredibly awkward to watch, let alone if I was there. That night they get into a big fight, and these are all pretty strong personalities. I don't know that compromise and letting things slide are the strength of this group. I still haven't learned everyone individually, but I would say for a fact that at least 5 of these people, at least half of these people, have pretty big attitudes. Probably it's going to end up being 100%. I just don't know yet. And we see this in things like making food or doing this or that. There's all these people pushing their own kind of agenda of what they want. Now we get into the therapy session with Jim and Elizabeth, who are married. And I guess their daughter is also on the show. So far, I'm impressed with them. You never really know about people that are willing to do therapy on TV, because usually therapy is quiet and personal and private. So sometimes you get charlatans. But so far, I've been kind of impressed with what they've noticed and everything. And they go into an exercise where they have all these bricks with different issues: trust, anger, kids, communication. And each of the couples have a table, and they have to pull down bricks, and they kind of assign it to either person. And the big surprise is that all of those bricks are really both of their issues, which made perfect sense. When they were trying to assign them to one person or the other, I was like, how can communication just be one person? I mean, it kind of can, but most problems within a relationship are both people having trouble. So it made a lot of sense to me. And then sort of the visual message to drive it home is that they have to get into a big pool, and they have to tread water and hold up their bricks. And all I could think of when they dropped those bricks were, oh my gosh, they're ruining the pool floor. Like, they're gonna have to drain the pool and fix it. And every time the bricks fell, I had that same thought. And my husband too. He was really upset about that as well. So I think we kind of missed it. And let's see, who was it? Was it Gloria, who, like, after they got out of the pool, like, dove back in and had to get all her bricks out. And I was really impressed with, I think it was either Jim or Elizabeth, who kind of called her on that behavior, that maybe that was a problem. The fact that she, they had told her to get out of the pool and it was done, but she, like, had to go and do something. And I felt like she just really wanted to make a point that she finished things, that he let things go, but she was always there to finish things. That was my impression. But, that's just, I'm cynical and I don't know everything. So, and then they do get kind of a talk about their issues and pointing things out. Like, they told Blanca that she, she cheated, and she was really adamant that she didn't, and she was adamant on Twitter that she wasn't. And it kind of made me wonder if she was one of those people who was either a chronological liar, or 2, who just genuinely did not remember things correctly, or genuinely has a poor sense of self-perception where she was just kind of unaware. And either one of those could legitimately be the case, where either she says what she wants to say regardless of the truth, or 2, she's not very aware. Some people just aren't capable of doing that. Anyway, so far it seems like a somewhat fun show. Looks like a lot of fights are coming up. I hope it doesn't get too crazy. I could really use like a fun, nice show. But anyway, that is my recap. Talk to you soon.